Hey, Lee here, and not the greatest lighting conditions in front of a wall of media to talk about Saints Row the Third coming to us from THQ, Volition Incorporated, as it were. Big fan of the series. Didn't so much play the first one, played the heck out of the second one. A lot of good fun. It's back, the co-op's back. Most everything is back. Well, the only thing that there isn't is change. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It kind of came out nearer the end of the cavalcade of games we got this autumn. I mean, Skyrim's been taking up a lot of my time, a lot of other people's time, but I knew I wanted to get around to playing this, and me and my buddy Trevor finally co-opted through the entire game. What's immediately different is some of the customization has been dialed back ever so slightly, making a character there's a little less involved with it, and it's not so much you can't make the character you want. It's in the second one they had a bunch of goofy stuff, like you can put a permanent expression on your guy's face. You could do weird things with the promotions you can't do this time around. All the clothes and stuff like that are of course back. You can customize all of it. You can customize your vehicles. Weapons a little lighter this time. There's not as many. They're not as customizable. Other than that, it's a great time. The story is as silly as these have ever been. Saints Row, of course, is more or less Grand Theft Auto, if instead of trying to playing up the dramatic, parts of it that they do now, they just focus on the silly stuff like we had in San Andreas with the base jumping, all that kind of stuff. Except Saints Row always takes it further. You can streak, you can car surf, you can do insurance fraud scams where you jump in front of moving vehicles and try to wrap a high score. You can do mayhem where you just destroy a neighborhood driving around in tanks, helicopters. There's all kinds of crazy vehicles and crazy weapons outside of the normal rocket launcher, AKs, pistols, and stuff like that to deal with. The story itself is pretty much like the rest of them. You somehow, even though it's the third iteration, end up with nothing and have to build yourself back up in the town of Steelport in this case. There's a lot of cool cameos, a lot of voice work that you're like, hey, is that? And it is. There's a really cool ending sequence or one of the last missions. Really had me and Trevin laughing. We had the very end of the game spoiled for us, which I won't do, of course, here for you. But there's something even better than that closer to the end that we really fell in love with. There's tons of things to do after you beat the game. You can take over the whole island, buy all the properties, do all the little mini games and activities like I mentioned earlier, steal cars, do assassinations. There's a lot to do in this game. The only thing is, it feels dated. Now, I'm the last person to ever take, I'm like, oh, the graphics aren't the greatest, oh, this isn't that, this isn't that. The game does feel dated, but I'm not using that as a negative. I got plenty of play out of this game. There's a season pass available for $20 if you want all the DLC. There's missions going to be added. There's weapon packs and stuff like that already out for Saints Row the Third. The only thing I wanted to see is them push the envelope a little bit, give us something a little new. That being said, I will continue to buy Saints Row titles. I think they're great. I had a lot of fun with my buddy playing with this game. I'm going to dock him a point more than I was going to give them just because I want to see them kind of innovate with this series. Apparently they're already making Saints Row the Fourth, so I'm looking for greater things from these guys. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.